The time is 6 o'clock. This is the Community Development Corporation meeting of Monday, August 5th, 2024. I do hereby call the meeting to order under item A, under item B, invocation and pledge of allegiance. Please stand.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for those that are on this board and the sacrifices they make to serve. We thank you for them. We thank you for their families of giving of their time, and we just ask you to bless them and be with them as they make decisions for the best of Los Fresnos. Thank you for those in attendance tonight that represent many different groups that are very active in Los Fresnos and all together help make Los Fresnos a better place. We thank you for all. Continue to bless us in Jesus' name, amen. Amen. America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to item B, Ms. Yvette, did anybody sign up for Citizens Forum? Thank you very much. Under action items D1, consideration and action to approve the minutes of July 8, 2024. That's page 3 of your packet.
I'll make the motion that we approve the minutes from July 8th, 2024.
I'll go ahead and second.
There's a motion and a second. We approve the minutes of July 8, 2024. Any questions, comments, discussions? That being the case, all in favor say aye. Aye. Ayes have it, it's unanimous. Moving on to item number D2, consideration and action to acknowledge the July 2024 financial report under A, monthly, B, year-to-date, and C, sales tax report. That's on page 8 of your packet.
Great. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. As you can see on page 9, there's been 11 disbursements, total of $13,850. Nothing out of the ordinary. A couple of business grants that we do. Otherwise, it's all normal activity. The second page, packet page 10, we are 83.3% through with the fiscal year. Good thing is we're 90%, almost 90.51% of our budget. So we're about 7% over, which translates to about $42,500. So that's good news for revenues. Are up. Expenditures, we're right at budget. The biggest differences we've talked about every month is capital outlay. Actually, we moved it from special projects to capital outlay to separate it on the Veterans Memorial Project and the street project that we're doing. So still doing well overall. Probably even with those expenses that we saved other time, it looks like we'll cover them with this year's budget and still save our rainy day money that we had set aside for that. So that's pretty cool. The next page on packet page 11, sales tax receipts were up 3% for the month. Total of 10.33% for the year. So right in line with what was last year at 10.66. So a couple of years back to back with good increases. Over last year, that's almost $49,000 over last year receipts and sales taxes. So our business community is strong and doing well. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Bonham. There are numbers and then there are happy numbers. And these appear to be happy numbers. Do I hear a motion?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to to acknowledge and approve the financial report, A monthly, B year-to-date, and C the sales tax for 2024.
I'll
July
second that.
2024.
I'll second the acknowledgement of July 2024 financial report, A monthly, B year-to-date, C sales tax report.
There's a motion and a second. We acknowledge the July 2024 financial report, monthly, year-to-date, and sales tax report. Any questions, comments, discussion? That being the case, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, it's unanimous. Moving on to action item D3, consideration and action to approve a service agreement for the 2024 Narciso Martinez Cultural Arts Center Conjunto Festival, and that's on page 12 of your docket. I'm sorry, I'm not in court. Page 12 of your packet.
Okay. Well, good evening, Commissioners of the CDC and city staff and any audience members who are not part of the city. Los Fresnos folks are here. Got to see them. Anyway, my name is Rogelio Nunez, and we come before you for the 31st annual Narciso Martinez Conjunto Arts Conjunto Festival, which will be October 4th and 5th. It'll be at the Los Fresnos Memorial Park. The bands were all lined up except two pulled out at the last minute. We filled one. We got to fill the other one. But we should have the band scheduled out probably by the end of the weekend and then start putting that out. We've been working, Blanca couldn't be here tonight, but we've been working in terms of ad sales. They're going fairly well. Again, Los Fresnos is responding more than we have in the past, but throughout the valley as well. One thing that Blanca did want me to mention is that she, for a couple of years now, has been asking the Texas bucket list to show up and sort of be part of the festival and do their filming and everything that they do. They finally said they would be here. Okay, so they'll be here on a Friday, October the 4th, 2024 at 3 p.m. And we'll be following up, connecting with Jackie, because we'll need at least folks from the CDC, folks from the city, folks from maybe the school district, because they want to talk to people. They want to do what they do in terms of the Texas, film it, be at the grounds, talk to whomever they can talk to at that time, and then they'll do their show. I don't know when that comes up. The one thing they've asked us, or they've asked Blanca, they've asked us, is that they don't want any publicity right now. They don't want to put it on a press release. That's the way they operate. But they'll be reaching out again to us, but we'll reach out to you, who can be present at that moment. You know, maybe Mark can be there. I don't know, but we can reach out to city and staff and maybe a member of the CDC, the mayor, if they're whoever can be available. That's going to be the thing. So that should be good. We should have some article. I mean, I've been called. I made my comments in the Texas Highways again for September. They should mention the festival. They should mention that the event will take place. So the Texas Highways is a kind of a tourist magazine for the state of Texas. So we should be in there again for this coming year. Other than that, you know, I mean, I think we're, as they say, it seems slow for me sometimes. You know, Blanca, who runs with me a lot, has had some moments in her life that, you know, she hasn't been able to respond as fast as she wanted to, but she's still doing her work. Some people had COVID. I mean, maybe you knew that Los Fresnos publisher had COVID, and he was kind of like, you couldn't do some work with him in terms of graphics and all that kind of work. But everything's back. We should get all that done, and hopefully our magazine should be out. It has to be, you know, we've got a deadline, but it'll be out by early September. So pretty much I'll get together with the chief, with Mr. Salazar, and others in terms of logistics. I know that weekend on the 4th, Los Fresnos is playing here. But again, the chief always figures out how to get all the cars in the right place at the right time. I don't know how he does that, but that's his job, but not mine. Mine is to get the bands there and get everybody going. There'll be, you know, again, some of the bands again coming out of Houston, coming out of Austin. We do have one gentleman by the name of Joel Guzman, who very few people know about Joel, but he's probably one of the best accordion musicians we have in the country. He does a lot of work at UT Austin. He has a conjunto as a professor, but he hardly does most of his work in a studio. He arranges, he puts together other people's CDs and so forth, but we hadn't had him since 2007. So it was about time, and we were able to work out a fairly good fee They are pretty expensive, but we worked it out. So he'll be here on Friday night with his wife, Sarah Fox. And then other conjuntos, some who are, again, this year we felt very important to try to bring some conjuntos who don't get to play, but they are around, they play. So there'll be about 4 conjuntos who don't have that track record, but we feel that it's important to bring them on and not just the same ones over and over again. So, there'll be some bands nobody's ever heard of, Juan P. Ramos y los Tremendos from Starr County. They play well. I've heard them play on different occasions. So, again, there'll be some bands who we don't have on that circuit that conjunto groups go around. So anyway, we did have a great ad at the Conjunto Festival in San Antonio, which crunched out, I don't know, close to 10,000 people this year. They keep growing. I had breakfast this past weekend with Ms. Cristina Valle, the director, and they were just like, they sort of hit the home run several times that weekend. They keep growing. It's amazing, to keep growing. But anyway, so I think we'll do fine, the weather permitting. I don't know. We never know about that. But other than that, I think we'll be okay. Any questions, any thoughts, comments? Again, yes.
Mr. Nunez, what's the proposed date for this year's festival?
October 4th and 5th, Friday and Saturday.
Thank you.
And there's 15 bands, including the Los Fresnos High School and the Los Fresnos Elementary. Mr. Santiago Castillo has been working with that group, and then, of course, Mr. Longoria over here at the high school. And then we'll have even Longoria's own conjunto play. It's been a while since Conteño had played her, so they're going to be playing Friday night. So make sure you come out and support our Los Fresnos conjunto director. That's much as I can tell you, unless you have any other thoughts.
Thank you for your address, Mr. Nunez. We have under item number 3, do I hear a motion?
I make a motion for consideration and action to approve a service agreement for 2024 Narciso Martinez Culture Arts Center Conjunto Festival for the amount of $5,000.
I second that motion that we approve the service agreement for the 2024 Narciso Martinez Cultural Arts Center Conjunto Festival in the amount of $5,000.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the Narciso Martinez Cultural Arts Center Conjunto Festival. Any question, comments, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, it's unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Nunez, for your time and great job. If you're gonna speak some more, you gotta get back over there so everybody can hear it in the world. But thank you again. Okay, moving on to item D4, consideration and action to approve a service agreement for the September 2024 Cowboy Cook-Off. That's on page 14 of your packets. Mr. Bruce, is that you, sir? Push the button, please.
Okay, now you can hear me. I'm Jerry Bruce, one of the directors of the Los Fresnos Rodeo. We're here to let you all know for support for the cook-off. First of all, we'd like to thank the City of Los Fresnos and the CDC for all the support they've given us throughout the years. This will be our 7th annual cook-off. Just a little real brief, I'll try to make it short because I know Mark's pressed for time, but we'll make it as short as we can. The Los Fresnos Cowboy Cook-Off is an event being presented by Los Fresnos Rodeo as another family fun event to bring to the city of Los Fresnos. The Cowboy Cook-Off is a barbecue competition which is sanctioned by the Champions Barbecue Alliance and is a qualifying event for a state championship barbecue. We will have teams competing from throughout the Rio Grande Valley and from other outside areas in Texas. Our goal is to have more than 40 teams compete this year to make this a success. Last year we had a Kids Queue, which is children. We have 3 different age groups, and it was a lot of fun. They cooked fajitas. y'all need to come out and see them, support them. It's a lot of fun. We supply them with a barbecue pits, a charcoal. One of our sponsors, major sponsors, supplies the pork chops for them to cook. And it's kind of neat. The parents are not involved. They give them the barbecue pits. We light up the barbecue pits. They have to season their own meat. They have to do everything. If you've never seen it, it's something kind of fun to come out and see. Of course, last year it was hot, and Monaco knows. But anyway, that's what we're here for. We're here to thank you for your continued support for the cook-off, and I'm going to cut it off right there because I know that there's other people here that need to talk besides myself. But thank you all for your support.
Thank you, Mr. Bruce. Do I hear a motion?
I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve the service agreement for the September 2024 Cowboy Cook-Off in the amount of $2,000.
I'll second the motion to approve the service agreement for the September 2024 cook-off.
There's a motion and a second. We approve a service agreement for the September 2024 cook-off in the amount of $2,000. And at the bottom of your package on page 14, there's red letters to make sure that you understand this is part of the rodeo.
Yes.
Any questions, comments, discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, it's unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Bruce.
One more thing before I step down. We need judges to help sample food all day long.
I'll
It's-
go.
And we've got people, David Otamendi will help, along with Mark, will help sign up people. And we do need judges for all the categories. It's something different. You think it's just, we're gonna go eat meat, and it's not that way. It's a lot different than what most people think. And you learn a lot about what goes into what a competition is. So please come out if you can. If you can't, we're gonna have all kinds of activities. You see on the little posters I put out there. So thank you all very much again for your support.
Thank you, and I'll bring my Ziploc bags. Moving on to item D5, consideration and action to approve a service agreement for the 2025 Cameron County Fair and Livestock Show. That's on page 17 of your packets. Ms. Arizmendi.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the CDC. Thank you for having me once again. 2025 will be my 20th year that I'm in charge of the livestock show. Time has flown by, and the show just continues to grow year after year. So I submitted a little letter with the numbers of exhibitors we've had over the past 2 years, and I also submitted pictures of some of the kids in the show ring and the cowgirls and so forth like that. But in 2023, we had a total of 563 entries over the 3-day show. And in 2024, we were at 669. So our numbers keep growing. The cattle barn was full. If we get any more cattle, I think we're gonna have to get a tent this year and go back to being in tents. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, and that's a good problem to have. So we continue to have the cowgirl contest with all the girls from Cameron County competing, whoever chooses to enter. The winner goes on to represent the rodeo the following year. And so this past year, it was Morgan Stanko from Rio Hondo that was the rodeo queen for 2024. And for 2025, it will be Heather Helmer. So we wish to thank you for your continued support. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer them.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion for the consideration and action to approve a service agreement for 2025 Cameron County Fair and Livestock Show for the amount of $10,000.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve a service agreement for the 2025 Cameron County Fair and Livestock Show. Any questions, comments, discussion? Okay, before we take a vote, I want to say something. What in this room today is the heart and soul of Los Fresnos, besides our community. We have the rodeo, we have the cook-off, Conjunto Festival, hundreds of kids. The chamber is going to come up in a little bit, and I just want to acknowledge all of you because you all come here and thank us and stuff, but we need to acknowledge you too, because the contribution that you all make to the community, we can't count. We can't tell you a number, but it's just, it's a huge benefit that you all provide. And thank you for your presence, and thank you for your interest in our community. You make our life easier. Any further questions, comments, discussion? That being the case, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, it's unanimous. Thank you very much, Ms. Valerie. Okay, on item 6, consideration and action to approve a service agreement for the 2025 rodeo. The agenda says page 22, however, Mr. Milam passed out some corrected information. Is that correct, Mr. Milam?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're not going to go by what's in the packet, it's what the addendum that Mr. Milam provided us. Mr. Bruce, you got
Once
the floor.
again, thank you for hearing us today. I'm here to represent the committee for our 35th annual Los Fresnos PRCA Rodeo. We're very proud of what we have, what we've grown into. We try to do the right things and help the community, support all the businesses and as well as the city. Without y'all's help, it would be very, very difficult for us to put this event on. It's a bunch of hardworking men and women that put their time, their effort, blood, sweat, and tears into this thing. It means a lot to all of us. I'm one of the founding fathers. Mr. Gomez here is another founding father. Mark Milam's on our board, of course, you all know that. But we really appreciate y'all's help. Our main goal is always to give good quality entertainment to the people of Cameron County and other places. One of our main goals is to give out, support the children of Los Fresnos and of all of Cameron County. We help in one respect. This past year, we awarded $31,000 in scholarships to students in the Cameron County area. We appreciate the help from the livestock show. They're a valuable part of our organization. And last year was difficult because of the rain. Everybody that was here knows we all suffered, but we got through it, and we're looking forward to a new year. We're making strives to improve our parking areas and stuff like that. Just got to be patient with us. It's one step at a time. It's a new year, and it takes a lot of time to get these things done. It takes a lot of money to get some of these accomplishments made. That's why we're here, and we appreciate your support.
Thank you, Mr. Bruce, for your time again. Do I hear a motion?
Now, on the motion, Mr. Milam, it's, we're increasing from 15,000, right? So for a total, okay. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve a service agreement between the CDC and the Los Fresnos Rodeo. From 12,500 with the addition of 2,500 for a total of 15,000. As funds are available.
And I'll second the motion to approve the service agreement as described. We're going from 12,500 up to 15,000 this year.
Do I hear any comments? We have a motion to approve a service agreement for the 2025 Los Fresnos Rodeo. Any questions, comments, discussion? Enough has been said. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, it's unanimous. You have our
again.
vote.
Don't forget the biggest little rodeo in Texas. Come to it. You'll enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
I just want to say something. I have a coworker that lives in Los Fresnos.
Okay, I'm not trying to make you walk, but for the benefit of the people that are out there in the media world, they cannot hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I have a coworker that is a lifelong resident in Los Fresnos, and she's always heard me talk about the livestock show and rodeo. And 2024 was her first time to come to the rodeo. She sat through the rain, and she had a blast. And she says, I will come back. So they do a good job.
It takes all of us.
Thank you.
Great job, guys.
Okay, moving on to item D7, consideration and action to approve a service agreement between the CDC and the Los Fresnos Chamber of Commerce. That's on page 37 of your packet. Mr. Champion, welcome.
Sorry about that. When the time comes, it is our desire to leave the chamber in the strongest financial position possible so that the chamber board can attract qualified candidates to replace us. We are grateful for your attention to this matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Champion, for your kind words. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion for the consideration and action to approve the service agreement between the CCD and the Los Fresnos Chamber of Commerce. A $3,000 increase from $15,000 to $18,000 annually seems appropriate.
Do I hear a second?
I second that motion. We approve a service agreement between the CDC and the Los Fresnos Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $18,000.
There's a motion and a second. We approve the service agreement between the CDC and the Los Fresnos Chamber of Commerce. to $18,000. Any further questions, comments, discussion? That being the case, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, it's unanimous. Moving on to item D, action item D8, consideration and action to approve the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget. That's on page 43 of your packets. Thank you, gentlemen.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, on page 43 and 44 is my notes, and then the actual budget is on 45. So I'll be using my notes to go off of, but we'll key off of page 45. The top line, of course, is sales tax. That's the major revenue source for the city, the CDC. You can see that last year we had $612,815 in sales tax, and it looks like we'll hit about $645,000 the rest of this year, which we have 2 months. So we're proposing $670,800. It's a 4% increase. If you'll remember when I talked about sales tax, we've had 10% increases each year. I would rather be conservative than jump out there and say 10%, because if we get it in, then there's projects you can do and you can utilize those funds at that time. But it's based on 4% increase. And then on my notes, I showed you 3 or 4 years history there. So really continuous, solid growth in sales tax revenue. Interest is good today because interest rates are high. So we went from a couple $100 a year to now $14,000, $15,000. So we're just projecting about the same. So total revenue, $686,200 or $685,200. So that's the revenue. Revenue's easy. There's only 2 sources. The next piece is salaries, and then FICA, Medicare, workers' comp. Those line items are based on salaries, and we're proposing 2 20-hour people. Before it's been 30 hours and then someone part-time during the summer. But we're proposing to add a little bit to that. It won't be all at one time, but they'll be utilized around more around the big events that we have because it takes more people. So that's what that increase from 18,720 to 25,456, 459. That's just the salary at the $12 and based on 2 part-time employees, 20 hours. The next piece is attorney. We always put some in there in case we need some legal advice, but we haven't in a long while. Auditor is, that's just the fee that they charge to audit our books. Professional services is Desi and his service. The last 2 years, he's been at $39,520, and I'm proposing a 5.25% increase to $1,600 every 2 weeks and $41,600 annually. So he's been at the same rate for the last 2 years. So with cost of everything increasing, we think that's appropriate to increase there. Business recruitment and development, we just dealt with that with the chamber and $18,000. And you see office supplies, and then city promotion and advertising. Jackie, can you pass this out? That's good. We won't spend a lot of time on it, but I do want to show you, sometimes you don't realize where all those numbers come from. The Promotion and Advertising Committee met, and that was Gordon and Leo. Pete was vacationing and having a good time, so he missed out on that. But if you'll recall, the promotion and advertising by state law is limited to 10% of your revenue. So I keep a track of this. And so if we hit our budget of $670,800, then we can spend up to $67,080 in advertising promotion. The way we break it out, you can see about $54,500 goes into promotion. $12,580 would go into the advertising piece. The second block below that shows all the promotions, and you can see that the Halloween Festival, the Christmas Festival, and all of those that Val mentioned that the chamber helps arrange those. We're proposing and took to the committee to increase that from $1,000 an event to $1,250, so that all the costs have gone up through time. So we thought it would be prudent to increase that each one of those events, and that includes Halloween, Christmas, Easter, Independence Day, and then there's one more. Easter, did I say Easter? Anyway, there's 5 of them, so we'd increase that to $1,250, and you can see the history of all of those through time. Back, 10 years ago, it was $500, but costs have gone up a lot, and plus we got a great event. And it just lists all of those things that we support through the years and the amounts that we supported them. We did build this budget with $5,000 in miscellaneous. During the year, there might something come up that you think deems needs of more money, more funding, so you have a flexibility to do that. And then I didn't put the advertising for proposed this year, but you can see the history of where it goes. A lot of it goes into maps and brochures that the office prints and puts out, banners for all of these events that they put all over the countryside. So that's all in advertising promotion. Is there any question on that? Most of those you've already approved and have them, so that takes care of the next 2. Travel, dues and memberships is the same. Special projects, that's kind of the money that's left over that is saved for when a business comes in and says, hey, I need gas at my business, and the main line's 2 blocks over, and I need help getting it to my business. We have funds to do that. Or the alley behind some business that's being utilized for the business needs to be paved. Well, then we can utilize those funds. So that's $188,249. Insurance is not much. And then we changed, I mentioned in my report, the capital outlay. We moved everything for the Veterans Memorial and also the street project that you're a part of that we're doing in the business, several of the business areas. We budgeted those separately so that you could see. And you'll see that this year we'll finish up with about $299,800 that's paid in that. And that leaves $101,800 that was left over that's not going to be paid out by the end of September 30th. So kind of gives you a basis to know, okay, how much was that? Now you know that's left for the street project and the Veteran Memorial. Business incentive program, the grants that you provide for signs, landscaping, etc., $40,000. debt transfer to general fund, that's something that was set up back in the early days, and we haven't changed that. This is for my work and staff's work from the city. And then the last one that we'll talk about is transfer debt service INS. And if you'll look on the page before that on page 44, and I tried to lay those out so that you would really get a feel for what you've committed and then what I'm proposing. We talked about it last meeting. The first one is the 2005 street project. You committed $20,000 for business street improvements. This is the last year for that commitment. It'll be paid off. The next one is the 2014, and I call it the Walmart area upgrades. When we put infrastructure in for that, put lift station, and we built the lift station to serve the whole west end of the town. We did a bunch of loops in our water line so pressure would be better than what it was. So out of all of that, the CDC committed $25,000 for that. And so you still got a few years to pay that. Another thing that you did in 2020, when we were working on some drinking water projects, is you committed a few funds to help the business community so that we didn't have to raise water rates so much. And so that was $57,986 in 25 and in 26, and then we'll readdress it after the year 2026. The next one is the same thing, but clean water or sewer. Wasn't as much work done, but it's $15,078 both in this coming year 2025 and then 2026. And then the other one I put there and have included it, we haven't made final decisions on it. Brought it to you and you said come back with more ideas and more concrete information, and we will. I took it to the city council and they're wanting to move in that direction as well. So we put it in the budget so that it's there if something happens, that street project doesn't go through, well then we'll move those funds to somewhere else. But that would be, that commit would be about $150,000 for 4 years. So that totals $268,064. Remember on those, we have to specify what streets it is. It can't be in a residential neighborhood. Same with the sewer and water lines. It all has to be part of business development and for our business community. And as you see, the total expenditures, we have excess, or actually we have under of $101,800, which is the capital outlay, which was the street projects and the Veterans Memorial that we had prior money saved up to pay for that. So that reflects it in a better way than we did in the past. And that's all the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Molina. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consideration and action for the fiscal year budget of 24-25.
I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second. We approve of the budget for the fiscal year 2024-2025. Any questions, comments, discussion? That being the case, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, it's unanimous. Moving on to action, item E, 1, report by CDC consultant. CDC consultant report July 2024 under A, business and residential site information. B, business outreach. C, USDA elderly home repairs and loan program outreach. And D, sponsored promotion. And that's on page 46 of your packet.
Hello.
Martinez, welcome.
Thank you. Hello to all of you. As you can see on the
information obtained from the permits office in terms of the business inquiries and permits for business or homes. We're continuing positively, but there is a gap, and it's been showing the last couple of months, a few months. That's duplexes and wood frame homes, the affordable homes. So I'm meeting with, and have been trying to meet with, of course, USDA to beat the drum on affordable housing, and with our nonprofits in the area that do affordable housing, like CDC out of Brownsville that has the plant here. They're doing those modular homes, and see if they got some strategies. The working class needs to have affordable homes and mortgages. Hopefully the Fed will bring down the interest rate and we can get back to normal to getting more people to buy homes. And the reason that's important is that because many of the businesses that have been coming through go do business in our existing plazas. They're not new connections necessarily. Some are. And all cities run from the economy of the city of water, sewer, drainage, etc. And particularly water and sewer is connections. The more connections we have, the more roofs we have, the more stable our economy is and the more stable our revenues are in terms of keeping the prices of water and sewer, and etc. at its base points. So we need to increase more roofs, if I may use the term generally. It's more customers. So I'm out doing this outreach, and you can see that flow through the months that I've been giving you this data. And duplexes are fine. Normally we see a lot of duplexes come in year because of the tax and reporting, et cetera. A lot of investors begin looking for new locations, and we're running out of sites. We're a small city of 4 square miles, and we need to develop more sites so we can bring in more business and residential and multifamily. Anyway, then in R&D, it's been that because we are very busy in the fall and the winter and the spring on many activities, and we do a lot of R&D, and especially every 2 years, because the state legislature sets master or state plans, like we have the state flood plan for our market right now that I'm doing a review and will be reporting Mr. Milam my findings, that they also meet every 2 years and fund the Texas Water Quality Board, et cetera, housing programs for rural areas, et cetera. And it is our involvement in R&D, or planning, if I may use the word, and the companies, it's research and development, is that we stay on top of in front of the 8 ball, if we may use the term, to get our needs put into those plans, statewide plans, and including funding for the next 2 years till 2027. And you can see that our work that we've done so far with the USDA, continue to do that work and follow up, and with workforce. Workforce has $48 million being spent every year here in this county. And we want our community to also get its share or its services that are available through there. And including the workforce will be a new workforce center here at the port by Texas A&M College State, or University out of College Station, that multi-million-dollar investment that our community and our rural community, our trade area, that does a lot of shopping, et cetera, in this town that creates this sales tax, will be building, and we're working on that too, and making contacts and make sure we have that connectivity at the port, including the major companies that are coming in to build billions of dollars of investment and jobs at the port. And then, of course, the elderly program, we continue the outreach, and it's important. Everybody, because everybody is valuable, everybody's important. Every individual, every elderly, every veteran, every child, every youth, well, we can help in economic development because it's everybody, it's the economy. And finally, sponsored promotions. Our interns, Jennifer, will be going back to College Station, but she'll be in touch because Texas A&M University, because of the workforce center here at the port, is very important, and her being at College Station, we'll be still doing some contact with her to keep involvement, more connectivity with Texas A&M and the Chancellor's office out there. But anyway, she is going back to college, and will be back on breaks to help us on the events and initiatives that we got working. And Jenna Belial, UTRGV intern, is moving on. And so I will be, and I did interview a potential referral from the Fresno School District that just graduated as an intern. Now we're presenting that to Mr. Milo. If you have any questions, one of the things is, of course, one of the last things that our interns will also be doing is putting out posters throughout the city and the area, the market, on our event that you all sponsor, which is the Los Fresnos Cook-Off. It is a great event, by the way, and now they added the youth part. It's even greater. You know, kids learning how to cook, or at least get together with families on that. If you have any questions, we are busy. I will try to send you certain initiatives come up that are important that you should know, because you are our voices out there. You have a lot of people in contact. As you know, we link up with you. So if you got anything that you think is also important from the state of Texas legislature coming up in January, please send it to me. I'm always open. And I'm not only specialist. Mr. Milam is, I am. To Val in business. We're here as a team to receive input from you as well. I thank you. If you have any questions, give me a call.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez, and thank you for your contribution to our community. Moving on to item F, 1, report by General Manager, Veterans Memorial. A, B, CDC Capital Improvement Program Committee 2024, page 49 of your packet.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, the Veterans Memorial's coming along. If you haven't noticed, they have the emblems up. They look really sharp. I like it. It's going to be nice. Hopefully they'll continue their work and have it done by the end of the month so that we can start enjoying it and then have us a big program. And that's all I have really about it. The next piece is the CDC Capital Improvement Program Committee. That committee is made up of Henry and Daniel, as well as the 5 park board members. And they meet once a year to just look at what we've done, what we need to do, plan for this coming budget year, and then years in future, what's a wish list. All of it's very important. What we've done is important. What we're going to do this year is important. And to have things out there is good, because if we don't put those out there, we'll never reach them. Never look for the money, look for funding. So I'm not going to go over the whole part of it, but on page 50, and it's set up in the current year and what we've activities we've done and achieved. And it's not the way this program works is it's not all CDC funded. It's some city funded too, but it all has to do with community development. And so some of those you have funded, and some of those the city's funded, and some we've had grants to fund them. So you see Parks and Recreation, Community Health Program, Library, Senior Citizen, Culture Arts. So a lot of things happen, and we don't even realize what all's happening in the community. The page 51 talks about next year, which is in our budget. And you can see just Parks and Recreation, we've got more than what we'll probably be able to fund, but that's okay. We put it out there and we try to make it happen. I'd love to build a official sand volleyball court. If you watch the Olympics, you can see it's pretty good. A lot of people like to do that. Construct a concession stand for the league, it's in the budget. Add cover for basketball courts at the community park and Memorial Park. That's one of the biggest complaints we get, so very expensive, but hey, maybe we can make it work. So replace some of the older exercise stations at Memorial Park. Metal doors at the restroom and chemical room, we're gonna try to do those in just our maintenance budget. And then repaint the whole pool area, fixing the cracks in the wall, just repaint the whole thing. And then paint the floor with anti-slip paint in the pool restrooms. LED lights, we'd like to have them in the parking area of the nature park. Install a canopy over the playground equipment at Montes Castro Park. And then replace the LED lights, they're solar lights now, but they just don't hold up. And so we want to go back to the traditional LED lamps. Love to develop and add a dog park. Be a good thing to have in our community. And then nature park drainage and overflow, that's something that's going to happen. We have a grant for that. So, and then you see community health program, library, senior citizen culture arts continue on. And then I won't go over the future, but that's plans, and we keep updating them every year, so you can read those in your leisure, and always good for more ideas. And that's all my report.
Thank you, Mr. Minor. Any question, comment, discussion? No? Okay, I just want to add, don't forget the Frisbee stations. Frisbee is something
I
that
did.
a child 5 years old or an old man 75 like me can play with. So don't leave that out. Thank you for your report, Mr. Minor. Anybody else have comments, questions for Mr. Minor? Okay, that being the case, we go to item G, closed session. Under 1, closed session, deliberation pursuant to section 551.87, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act, regarding the following: to discuss or deliberate regarding commercial or financial information that the governmental body has received from a business prospect that the governmental body seeks to have locate, stay, or expand in or near the territory of the governmental body, and with which the governmental body is conducting economic development negotiations. Or 2, to deliberate the offer of a financial or other incentive to a business prospect described in by subdivision. And that's on page 54 of your packet, and the time is 6:58. We're going into closed session.
We'll go in this room here. Shouldn't take long.
take 2 days, 1 day. So I'm at your service, you know, keep, I, with this exactly, I bring this up to the tax. Why was it? Guess another thing, I got 5.
Yeah.
Jackie, yeah.
The time is 7:28 PM. Today's August 5th, 2024. The closed session meeting closed at 7:27 PM. It is now 7:28. We're back in open session. Deliberation, possible action regarding the following open session. Deliberation and possible action regarding the following, Section 551.087, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act, regarding the following. One, to discuss or deliberate regarding commercial or financial information that the governmental body has received from a business prospect that the governmental body seeks to have locate, stay, or expand in or near the territory of the governmental body, and with which the governmental body is conducting economic development negotiations. Or two, to deliberate the offer of a financial or otherwise incentive to a business prospect described in subdivision, by subdivision. We have met in closed session. There's a proposal, and I'm open for a motion and a second to recommending to either send or not send this proposal on to the city council for review and consideration.
Make a motion that we propose the subject matter that was discussed and be forwarded on to the city council.
I'll go ahead and second that.
There's a motion and a second that we forward the proposed discussion or the proposal to the city for consideration and action. Any questions, comments, discussion? That being the case, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. It's unanimous in favor of forwarding the matter to the city council. Moving on to item I, it is 7:30 PM, meeting adjourned.